going to be subitizing with the Rekenrek. This is a Rekenrek. It is set up in a way where there are 5 white beads and 5 red beads for 10 on a row. So this is our digital version of our Rekenrek, and you're going to see some beads that flash in front of you, and you have to tell us how many. Here we go. So think about how many you saw. I'll go back and do that one more time. How many did you see? And try to think of a math equation or some math equations to explain how many you saw. So one way we can look at this is 2 groups of 5. They're the 2 groups, and they're 5 in each. Or we could say 2 times 5, which equals 10. Or we could say 5 plus 5, 5 plus 5 more. And that'll also give us 10. So these are 2 different equations and a way to write out what we saw in words. So think about that for the next set. Ready? How many did you see and how did you see it? I'm going to go back again. Think about how many did you see and how many did you see it? How did you see it and how many did you see? Think about what equations you can write. Well, you could say you saw 2 groups of 6, 6 and a 6, and those are 2 groups, first group and the second group. Or you could say that you saw 2 times 6 and that equals 12. I could also say I saw 2 groups of 5, one group of 5 and another group of 5, plus 2 groups of 1, 2 groups of 1. I could also say I saw 2 times 5 plus 1. Here's my 5 plus 1, which makes 6. So 5 plus 1, and I saw that 2 times 5 plus 1, which will give me 12. I could also write it as 2 times 5, 2 groups of 5, plus 2 times 1, which will give me a 10, plus 2, which will give me 12. Let's see if you could try that with the next set. How many did you see and how did you see it? I'll show it one more time. You can pause the video right here to try and write down some different equations or some different ways that you saw the amount. Did you write down any of these equations? 2 groups of 7, or 2 groups of 5 plus 2 groups of 2, or 2 times 7, giving us a product of 14, or 2 times 5 plus 2, because here's my 5 plus 2, and I saw that twice, or 2 times, to give us 14, or did you write 2 times 5 plus 2 times 2 equaling 10 plus 4? So my 10 plus my 4 to give me 14. Did you write down any of those equations? Here's another. This one's not going to disappear. I want you to think about the equations that you could create. What are the equations you could create? You can pause the video and write down some equations that you would create. Here's the next. Now these are going to disappear, so get ready and think about what do you see and how many do you see and what are the equations that you could write or the words that you could write to describe what you see. Here we go. I'll show you again. You can pause the video and think about the equations that you would write. What math equations would you create? We've got one more for you. Here we go. One more time. What math equations would you create? Think about the math equations that you would create. Enjoy subitizing.